We acknowledge with gratitude that we are gathered on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Coquitlam First Nation, who have lived here for thousands of years and continue to care for these lands and waters. We also recognize the shared territory of the Coast Salish peoples, including the Tsleil-Waututh, Cathy, and Musqueam nations. We honor their enduring presence and ongoing contributions to this region.
Welcome to Faces Tri-Cities interview series. I'm Geneviève Kyle-Lefebvre.
And I'm Cathy. Faces Tri-Cities is a co-authored book featuring 50 amazing local women.
And today we're sitting down with Billie Sinclair. Welcome, Billie.
Thank you so much. Thanks for
Great
having
to see
me.
you.
It's amazing to have you with us. And we have Erin.
Yep.
And Miriam with us in the audience. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Pleasure. Let's give a little clap to Billie. Yes. All right, Billie, let's do it. First question for you. What inspired you to get involved in this local initiative, this Faces Tri-Cities co-authoring book?
You know, I have seen a lot of co-authored books, and I've just never signed up for one. So this is my first.
Oh.
Yeah. And I love the concept. I love the art. I loved you guys. I love the community, and so I just thought, why not give it a try? It was affordable, it was beautiful, and every step along the way, I've been so thankful that I chose this because you guys have done so many beautiful things to make this project really extra special.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh.
I love it.
That's a lovely
I
compliment.
love it. I love how you're pointing at the back because the art was a big part of when we started the project. And it is representing inclusivity and is representing the women flow, right? And I think we work really hard on the visual, and of course you can see it in the background. So thank you for saying that.
So what impact does sharing your story have on the Tri-Cities and the community?
Well, I think everyone sharing their stories makes a huge impact on each other. I'm a really emotional person, so I can always have a Kleenex near me because I listen to their story and go, oh, because we've all gone through so much. So I think it really shares the concept of resilience because everyone, sometimes when something happens, you think, oh my gosh, it's only me in the moment. But when you read the stories and you hear other people's stories, you really realize that everybody's been through everything. And so we can get through it. So resilience is a big theme for my life. And it's just important.
That's amazing.
You know, Jen, I have just a quick thing I want to answer is, why do you think that, when women are going through stuff, they're the only ones that they think that are going through it? Do you know what I mean? There's so many other people. I always say, you're not the first person to be divorced or the last. You're not the first person that this happened to or the last. There's so many before you and behind you. But why do we think that?
Well, I think it could be a little bit because of her surrounding. Let's say if you're getting divorced and nobody's around you is getting divorced.
Right.
Well,
then you're the only one.
You feel alone because your close or your bubble people are all thriving, and then you feel like, I'm so isolated with my situation. But yeah, when you get out there and you share with other people and share these stories, this is one of the example, but there's many different ways you can share and get support.
Yeah, it opens doors, doesn't it? Yeah.
So how does being part of the co-author book help make a difference on our community?
I think everyone bringing up their story and again of resilience and what happened and then how they overcame it and how they thrived in spite of it even. I just think it builds a lot of hope. I think people really need hope today. And I just found that the more I got to know the ladies, the different ladies with the different stories, the more it empowered me. So it's kind of like a win-win. I help others become empowered by hearing my story, but I become empowered by hearing their stories. And then as we get to know each other, I think also we get to, it's that feeling of promoting each other.
Yeah.
Say, instead of just, me being here by myself trying to promote myself, hey, I do these things, now we can promote each other. And that's really a lot of what my online and offline lives are about and how they come together to help promote others and to help them see that I want them to win.
Yeah, if I can add to this, it is so true. There's so many people online. Ladies, I don't know if you find that, some people, I know you, and oh yeah, I follow you. And then when you get to do a project like that, all of a sudden you realize they're a lot more than just what you see, because it's really hard to capture the essence of someone if you just see them on social media. And of course, it is important though. I do feel there's a place for social media, but I think like even us being together right now, there's a feel of connection, and I think that something that it went even further than I think what we hoped actually.
Yeah, exactly. It did. We're going to talk about your quote. Everybody put a quote together in the book, Billie. So let's get to yours. And you're going to share with us what it means to you. So women belong in all places where decisions are made. RBG.
Yeah, so Ruth Bader Ginsburg is a great inspiration of mine. One of the things I'd like to do actually is book out a movie theater one night and show the movie, which is called, it's going to probably escape me at the moment, but I'm forgetting it, but it's kind of like,
if it comes to you, then you can say it.
It probably will. But it was so important with her story that she is all about justice, but she's also about justice for women.
Yes.
And I think in our patriarchal society, we are constantly having to make a statement for the needs of women. And women are different, except when we're not. So there's just so many places where in our society, men seem to make decisions for women. And so I really, really resonated with her movie, with the story about her life, and about how it's very important for women to be in the room at the table when decisions are being made for women.
There's a quote that was... I think this morning Joanne Dumas said this, and I think I mentioned it on the first day of our recording, and there's a place in hell for women that doesn't support each other's. Yeah. And when you talk, the first thing when he says women belong in places where decisions are made, I feel women empowering women, it is so important in today's world, and women make good CEOs. That's what Simon Sinek says. That was mentioned also a couple times in other interviews. But I do feel, Billie, you are working so beautifully with other women. So why do you think, and why do you do it? Why do you like to work with women like that?
Yeah, that's interesting that you should ask that. Nobody's really asked me the why part.
Oh, we're getting emotional.
I think a lot of times women are coming from behind. And they really need each other to build them up and to... I have a hashtag, if you will, empowered women, empower women. So to the degree that we become empowered, it kind of inspires us to then empower others. And the movie, by the way, is called On the Basis of Sex.
She found the movie now. I could have her. She found the movie.
It's not sex, but it's about gender, because
it's one thing we forgot is tissues. What's wrong with us?
I don't know, but you know me. If someone cries, I cry. I will be supporting you into any tears. Don't worry. Yeah.
So yeah, that's really what it's all about for me. Is I grew, I became successful, and I just want to share that with others. I always say it's not the Billie show. It's really about taking, other people have contributed to me to get me where I am today, so now I want to contribute to others.
And you have quite the story. You know, you became a single mother, you lost your parents, you lost your brother as well, I believe, 2 of them, yes. Geneviève and I, we've also lost our siblings, and we were talking about this yesterday. There were 4 of us that lost our siblings in the room, you know. You never know. You're always 6 degrees away from separation of what another person is going through. And, you know, I'm just going to read something here. Although the children and I were on government assistance for a year, and we lived on in subsidized housing for 10 years, I eventually returned to full-time work in a downtown stock brokerage. For the next few years, life would be about navigating childcare, driving the children on their various activities, and contributing to our housing community. When you wrote your story, because you start off like in your latter teens, if you will, and you're talking about that and going through it. I mean, I have followed your story, you know, where you are now to where you were. What were you thinking, like when you wrote this part of your story, in terms of, you know, were you sad to write that part? Did you feel good about it? You know, were you thinking, gosh, I'm so happy to where I am now to the where I was? Can you just do a little bit of a deeper dive into that for me?
I think it was more about that a lot of times there is a stigma of women on welfare. There's a stigma about single motherhood, and a stigma also about government housing. And so I wrote that really to bring attention to the fact that that's also a place of stability. So if you become unstable and you still want to provide a good life for your children, you have to find stability first. So I found the stability of the housing community that I got to live in, and of course I became very involved in the tenant committee. Put on lots of events, got all the mamas together, even for Christmas. And so it was really just about reminding women that we're there for each other. Also, when women, like I loved Erin's story. So when talking about women that are maybe going through a bad time, kind of similar to working with people that have a disability, you don't want to put them down. You want to bring them up. You want to show them how they can make their way back to where they were. So for example, prior to that, my ex and I, we owned 5 homes at the same time. And then I became a single mom on welfare, living in subsidized housing. So just
That's
such
hard.
a big shock. And to know that you can continue to have a great life, and or at the very least rebuild a great life.
Yeah, it was Miriam's story. I think you-
Sorry, Miriam. Right.
Yeah, but it is true and I think it's important to talk about this because there's people right now today that are probably don't know like if they can feed their children. They don't know if they can put food tonight for dinner on their table, and we need to talk about this. Yes, there's food bank, but the first step of going for the first time, where at one point I think someone doesn't know which door to knock on, and I think the first steps can be very difficult. And I think we have to talk about, do not wait until you're so deep into debt before to reach out, because I think often people will go so deep into debt because they don't want nobody to know. They don't want to go to the food bank and they don't want to reach out. And now the financial situation is so hard.
Pride.
And then it's, yeah, exactly. And then, when you speak like this, I feel I want to share that message because I think we talked about this over and over. I feel I've heard this anyways around, but I think it's important to not be ashamed of the situation. And we know, like now we're talking about tariff, we're talking about maybe the recession words and what is coming. We don't know, right, ladies? So I just think we have to talk about this. So thank you for saying this. I think that's important. I wanted to add, looks like.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Go ahead. Throwing it to the audience for one more question. What are you thinking?
Oh, I think we'll do one more question, definitely. Yes, let's do, I think that would be a good one. I have a good one for her if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'd like to talk about which organization do you support, where are you involved, and what you can, I mean, I know a little bit, but I would like you to elaborate on where do you like to give back?
Yeah, I don't actually give back to any one particular organization. In fact, through the BC Women in Business Facebook group, I create networking events. And a couple of months ago, well, maybe 6 months ago, I decided why not during those events do a bit of a fundraiser.
Okay.
So I've actually, over the last 3 events, chosen 3 different organizations to contribute. We have a raffle of something really amazing, which is always a Kate Spade bag. They're always gorgeous.
We're all like that, right,
Yeah,
ladies?
right. That's why I do it, because I know everybody's going to love it. And then, so the organizations that, often I hear about them through the community. Someone will say, oh, this is a great organization. And say, okay, let's put that down as our charity of choice for this event. So there are a number of different places that I want to give. So rather than choosing just any one.
Okay, good, good. Audience, you're up.
Yeah.
Any questions from you for Billie?
Well, I was thinking about what you were talking about, how you worked with a stock brokerage firm, and you're also talking about lifting women up. As somebody who's also worked in the stockbroking industry, it is mostly men who work there. So I was just wondering if your experiences working there kind of shaped your future, and how that would be.
Well, that is a great question. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Karen.
I often say that the reason that I'm as comfortable around money and the topic and teaching personal money management is because I got into the industry when I was 20. And so I honestly did not know what I didn't know. I honestly did not even know the company I was joining, and it turned out to be Merrill Lynch. But I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that meant.
Right.
And so being that young and having the days when you did on-the-job training, literally it definitely shaped me. It definitely shaped me. Not that I've never had any financial difficulty, but it's the comfort around money and the not hiding from the problems and being very, very resilient as you look for solutions to your problems. And also even being willing to look at bankruptcy as an option when that is going to be the thing that's going to help you take the next step. I do so much counseling and coaching for people in that situation. I also love that you mentioned if they'd only come to me a little sooner.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
I feel that so often. I'm so happy. Okay, I'm happy you're saying even this financially, people come before you even on your credit cards.
Yeah.
Well, Billie, it was a beautiful interview. Thank you so much for being part of the book, for helping the women of the Tri-Cities, and keep shining, keep doing what you do. I'm happy because I got to know you personally a little bit more. I knew you through social media, if we go back to what I was saying earlier, but thank you for trusting us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Today you're listening to Billie Sinclair. She is one of our interviewees from the Tri-Cities Faces interview series. Geneviève and I are very, very happy to have done these series for you, and we'd like to also thank Tri-Cities Community TV for being involved. And I wanted to share that in the fine words of RBG, that women do belong in all places, especially where decisions are made. Thank you so much for watching. Cathy and Geneviève signing off with Tri-Cities Community TV.